Welcome back. It is something a lot of us don't think about, but as we or our loved ones age and life changes take place, it's important to plan ahead for a time when we, or perhaps our aging parents, may need help managing affairs. Two tools often used for that are power of attorney and power of personal care. And Bruce is here now to break down what we need to know about both of them. Now, Bruce, we've talked about wills before, and a lot of people don't have one. Why is that?
50% of adults don't have an up-to-date will, so you can imagine they don't have the other stuff that we're going to talk about either. Why? Geez, I was talking to a single mother a couple weeks ago with a complicated custody issue. She did not have any of these things, and it made me crazy. Why? First of all, is something called present bias. So we place an increased focus on things with immediate rewards. We value that much more than valuing the avoidance of longer-term consequences. This is just how our brains work. Also, in this topic in particular, it is boring, it takes time, it can cost money, and it has us ponder our own death. So there's lots of reasons why you would not want to be talking about this. I will say, this is a bit of a humble brag, I wrote my first will at age 18, but not because I had significant financial assets or foresight of my impending death. It's because I wanted to write a friend out of my will. So I had to write the will and then intentionally exclude her so I could be like a really horrible person in high school. How's that? Insight into my character.
If I wrote a will at 18, it would basically have a couple of pairs of shoes and maybe my Barbie camper. Like, what am I really giving away? Okay, so we know the will is a big deal, but you wanted to talk about the power of attorney. So what is that?
So this is a legal document, and basically what you're doing is you're assigning one person, or more than one person, the authority over your financial affairs. So this is like banking or buying and selling property. You can also set up what's called an enduring power of attorney, and that means that it will hold true even if you become medically incapable. So this is mentally incapable, rather. It's really, really important to do this. You can do it at the same time as you do your will, and you can also set it up at a bank or an investment firm just to cover all your bases to make things much easier. The thing to know is we've got viewers all over the place, and there is some nuance in terms of how power of attorney works depending on where you live.
Now, power of attorney for personal care, is this a whole other ball of wax? What does that mean?
Well, these can be called a personal directive, a healthcare directive, a living will, power of attorney for personal care. Basically, what all of those terms refer to is signing a document that gives the authority to another person to make health decisions for you. So, say you become incapable of making those decisions for yourself, you want someone who you know and trust to be in the room when healthcare decisions must be made.
Okay, that clears that up. Now, these are really big decisions. Are there any risks involved in any of these?
On the power of attorney, the biggest risk is financial abuse, right? You've seen the horrific stories, so you want to choose someone that you trust, and statistically, the probability is quite low, but that's one thing. The second isn't so much a risk, it's more of a pitfall, and that is that your relationships could change, right? So that you assign that to one person, and over time, that person is not really the person who you want. You may need to update those documents over time. Also, your views on health may change. So someone in their 40s is like, sign me up for life support. I want to do everything to stay alive. Someone who's in their 90s may say, you know what, if my time has come, my time has come. Now, the other thing to note as you're doing all this paperwork is make sure you keep your beneficiaries up to date on all the places that you need them: pension, retirement savings, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, and usually that name is at the top of most of your documents, so it should be a good reminder to make sure you still like that person that you have on that list. There are a number of online will preparation services out there. So what do you think of them? Are they helpful?
They are helpful, and they're definitely better than nothing. So there's willful.co, there's legalwills.ca, and they go through the basics. If your situation is more complex, you're going to want to go to a lawyer. If you've got complicated business assets too, it's going to be worth the time and the money. I would say any adult with assets needs a will, even if you're in your mid to late 20s. If you have a kid, absolutely for sure. And if you're a senior in particular, the healthcare directives are going to be so, so important. I want you to get a will and a power of attorney and personal care and all that stuff, or update it. And my mom had this trick when I was a kid. When she needed to remember something, she took her watch off the wrist she normally wore it on, and she put it on the wrong wrist. And then you're like, why is my watch on the wrong wrist? My watch is on the wrong wrist. Oh, that means I'm supposed to remember to do something. Well, the thing you are to remember to do today is get the ball in motion. So you've got the power of attorney and all the things that we talked about. It is insurance for your family. So go do it, please.
Your mommy is a very smart woman, because there's nothing more annoying than having your watch on the wrong wrist. Bruce, thank you so much. Such great information and packaged in such a lovely and entertaining